I'm Yonason Bender. I'm a clinician here at the place, the Jerusalem Center for Emotional Wellbeing. And right now I'm here with Rabbi Chaim SIlverstone, and he's running an amazing workshop called Breaking Through, the 40-Day Challenge. So Chaim, thanks for stopping by. Really sounds like an interesting workshop. What are you doing here? What's the workshop that you're giving?
So the basis of the program is based on the Noam Elimelech, where the Noam Elimelech was one of the early Hasidic leaders, and he mentions that it takes 40 days to break a habit.
Okay.
So when a person's stuck in a negative cycle of thinking of actions, either with addictions or just bad habits, or a person maybe wants to create a new habit. So it takes 40 days to rewire themselves, to make it happen.
Okay.
According to Chazal, according to rabbis, it says that their 40 shows up over and over and over again.
Yeah, definitely.
You see 40, Moshe was on Har Sinai for 40 days, and it takes 40 days for a fetus to be formed in the womb, and Noah, this week's Parsha, was in the Teva for 40 days, and a mikvah, where we purify ourselves. So it's 40 seiah.
Yeah.
Right, and 40 just keeps coming up over and over and over again. We even see that there was a certain rabbi in the Talmud that forgot something. He kept forgetting his Torah, and it says that once he learned it 40 times, it was as if it was in his pocket, just readily available to him.
Yeah.
So we see that 40 comes up over and over again, and for that reason, I have created a program to help people focus on something they're stuck on or something that they want to develop. Each person works on a different thing in the workshop on their own, and we as a group get together and create a support system so that we can all work on our own things together to get through that 40-day hump. Because once you get through that 40 days, it's almost like you've rewired that neural plasticity in your brain, and you have a new pattern, a new way of thinking, a new way of acting.
I mean, it's really cool you brought that up. I never sat down to make the connection with all those examples, but all those like complete wipes, start over, reset, complete reboot from something to nothing to something. Right. That's really cool. So who is this workshop most ideal for? Like a target audience, or is it more general population?
It's definitely general. I mean, I've had everything in the spectrum. I've had young, I've had teenagers to people in their 50s and 60s, and I've had young kolol, Bachrim in yeshiva to businessmen who are successful. So in terms of like the demographic, it could be for anyone. In terms of what people usually come to work on, I do get a lot of people who are struggling with different addictions, either eating or drugs, alcohol, women, difficult things. But I also have people who have just been stuck in their there's certain people who have just been stuck in their business, and they want to take their business to the next level, and they feel like they have a project they want to work on, so they feel like if for 40 days they focus on the project, they'll be able to have that breakthrough that they're looking for.
What's it like running a group like that where people are coming in with all sorts of different problems? I mean, what's your experience like kind of running a group like that? Does it make it interesting, more difficult, easier? Like, what's your experience?
Everyone's got their pekla.
Yeah.
Everyone's got what they struggle with.
Yeah.
And nobody's perfect. If we were perfect, we'd be dead. Right?
Perfectly dead.
Perfectly dead. We're here because we have something that we need to accomplish in this world, something that we need to get through.
Yeah.
And we're all human. We all, when you come down to it, this guy might be struggling with wanting to be more focused in his learning, and this one might be struggling with an addiction to the internet, and this one might be struggling with food, and this one might be even struggling with his anger. I get a lot of people who are struggling with anger. Anger management. So like for 40 days they'll work on doing something nice for their wife, right? So even though they're all struggling with different things, at the basis the issue that they all have is having a solid commitment, creating a real discipline, a plan of how to implement it, and consistency. So
like they're all very in your bones sort of work.
Right.
Well, how's your workshop structured? When people are coming in, they're going to want to break these habits, work on commitment, developing to recreate a new experience in their life. So brass tacks, what are you presenting to everybody?
Okay, so I guess I always look at it as there's three parts. Okay, so the first is each person gets something called a challenge map, which is a series of questions that says, okay, what do you want to work on? Okay. And they say, what do you want to work on? What's holding you back? Why is it important for you to do this? What kind of tools do you need in order for you to have that breakthrough? Mm-hmm. What are your triggers, emotional, physical? What kind of things are come up daily, or what triggers you to not follow through? And when they fill that in, that kind of helps them solidify in their head what they're going to work on. So each person before the first session has a very solid plan.
Awesome.
Right, and if I'm going to make myself available for them as part of the package to sit with them for up to 45 minutes and go through it and help them figure out exactly what they want to do. Okay. I always encourage people to choose something small, right? Smart, right? Yeah. Specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and time bound. Yeah. So that means that it's got all of those qualifications and simple and put together, and okay, so what am I going to do? So this guy I've had a lot of people actually deal with anger. Maybe that's a niche that people are interested in. Then I say okay, so they're going to meditate for 5 minutes every night before they go to sleep, and then they're also going to there was this one guy who was working on shalom advice with his wife, so I helped him discover what his wife's language of love was. Oh, cool. There's 5 basic languages of love, right? And which people will learn about in my groups, and helped him identify what his wife's was, and every day for 40 days he had to give his wife something that was connected to her language of love. Cool. So that was what he was working on in terms of his anger and with his wife. And then so I helped them find something very specific of what they can do to work on whatever it is that they want that breakthrough in. The second step is they do something called a DSR, which is a daily serenity renewal. Okay. It's a series of 8 questions that they'll do with a partner from the group, or they can do with me also privately if they want, where they're reminding themselves of the fact that they're the ones who are in charge of their lives, and that they're the ones who can ultimately make the change, and they make a formal commitment for today that they're going to take care of their obligation and whatever their obligation is towards their breakthrough. Right? The first of the 8 questions is do you recognize that you are the only one who has the power over what you do with your negative feelings and low moods? Just to help a person realize I'm not out of control. I can do this if I want to. I just have to put my mind to it, right? There's nothing that stands in front of a person's will. So that's the second aspect, is they have this thing that they do daily, and it also is part of that work. Whoever their partner is, they share with them kind of what's going on with them that day. One of the questions is there anything the past 24 hours that you've done that you're ashamed of? So that gives a person the opportunity
Big question, wow. Yeah.
Right, get stuff off their chest, because one of the biggest things that holds us back from moving forward and pushing forward is that emotional, I'm a failure, I'm not good, I've done these horrible things and I feel so bad. So once you get something off your chest, the problem shared is a problem halved. Yes. It really is. So that's basically the second part. And then the third part is we meet as a group once a week for 6 weeks, which covers the 40 days. And we spent a little bit of time, just if anybody wants to share their struggles or their strengths, or or accomplishments that they've had over the week in terms of their personal breakthrough, and that way people can kind of relate to each other on that level. And each week I give them tools in understanding their own psychology. I have a background in CBT, and I use a lot of the tools from that. I've also been the head coach for a very popular workshop called The Possible You. Oh, sure, Yom Tov Glazer. So I've had countless, hundreds and hundreds of hours of experience with him and with people he works with, and I've worked with them, and so I use a lot of tools from an NLP and basic psychology, etc. And I give just people tools of I try and package it so that people will have simple, clear, understandable tools that they can walk away with distinctions in life. The distinction between being and the doing, the distinction between accepting a person and approving of a person, of themselves, accepting themselves and approving themselves. the 5 languages of love, and many other things as well. I do a little bit of guided meditation. I do a little bit of mindfulness, and just give them what they need. So that helps them also get in touch with themselves and understand what they need to do in order to, get through that breakthrough and get them to the next stage.
Awesome. Well, I'm really excited about your workshop. It sounds really amazing. A lot of thought put into it, and it sounds like especially with addictions, like just so hard to treat. Hearing the type of success you're getting, that's really encouraging. That's really something. So thank you for stopping by.
Thank you.